This year, I really got into the concept of cozy fall, and it all began with a pumpkin. Now, I'm from the South and I live in North Carolina, and it's not pumpkin everything down here like you might expect. We eat sweet potatoes in the fall and for Thanksgiving, but we do decorate with pumpkins. And this year, I went a little overboard at the pumpkin patch. I decided that I wanted to create a really beautiful porch full of abundance and autumnal colors and flowers and pumpkins. So I ended up going to 3 different pumpkin patches before I felt like I had enough to create the vision that I wanted. I put pumpkins around the base of the mailbox, on the porch. I put gourds everywhere, and then just pumpkins, dark orange, bright orange, blue, white, dark green, pinkish brown. Like, just the colors were so inspirational for me. It just kind of reminded me of like the gorgeous bright leaves that are all around us. I don't remember seeing burgundy leaves before. That's my favorite color. And I have seen so many like burgundy like trees and bushes, and it's just, I don't know, it's just makes me happy. So high vibration and just coziness, right? Like, I don't know if the colors were always this bright or if I'm just now noticing them, but I am just really loving fall right now, and I am wanting it to extend as far as possible. And one of the ways that I do that is by watching fall movies. Now, I know that we're kind of in that weird space after Halloween, but before Thanksgiving, where the media and stores really rush us to like start preparing for Christmas. I'm almost at that point, but not yet. We still have about 2 weeks left of fall, or at least 2 weeks left of before it's time to put up the trees and Thanksgiving and things like that. So I'm still watching Hallmark movies that have all the pumpkins, and the leaves are changing, and there's fall festivals and things like that. So, and there's a bunch of them out there. You just have to search for them, but they're really cute. And I'm also spending a lot of time in nature. In North Carolina, we've got days where it's really sunny and warm, like maybe 75. And then we have a couple days where it's really cold and overcast. So you can go from wearing boots and jeans and a t-shirt to boots and jeans and a sweater. Okay, enough about all that. Let's get to the book recommendations. I started this stack of book recommendations around Halloween, so they're a little scary, but only psychologically so. What this list really has in common is a sense of place. It makes you want to snuggle under a blanket, drink a warm beverage, and light a candle. Speaking of which, I found these wonderful sweet potato pie candles, and I'm really loving it because even in the South, it's like pumpkin candles everywhere, but there are no sweet potato candles. And that's what I want to smell. And I can't stop smelling it, you guys. It smells so good. So let's talk books. The first book on my list is by Barbara Erskine, and it's called Midnight is a Lonely Place. Her books are always set in dual POV, and there's like a historical story that's happening, and those characters and they're usually haunted spirits with lots of angst, end up intersecting with the lives of the main character in contemporary times. So I'm going to very quickly read the back of the cover for you. After a broken love affair, biographer Kate Kennedy retires to a remote cottage on the wild Essex coast to work on her new book, until her landlord's daughter uncovers a ancient Roman site nearby, and long-buried passions are unleashed. In her lonely cottage, Kate is terrorized by mysterious forces. What do these ghosts want? Should the truth about the violent events of long ago be exposed or remain concealed? That is so good, you guys. And it's a little scary. It's so psychologically like eerie, and it's one of my favorites. The second book on my list is a young adult fantasy. It is a retelling of Jane Eyre with Ethiopian fantasy world building. Andromeda is a Debtera, an Exorcist hired to cleanse households of the evil eye. She would be hired, that is, if her mentor hadn't thrown her out before she could earn her license. Now her only hope of steady work is to find a patron, a rich, well-connected individual who will vouch for her abilities. When a handsome young heir named Magnus Rochester reaches out to hire her, Andromeda takes the job without question. Psychological scariness ensues. Such a good story. Haunted house, handsome, mysterious guy, lots of evil spirits and stuff inside. It's a really, really good book. The third book on my list is called The House of Razuli by Kirsten Imani Kasai. This one is an African-American Southern Gothic. It tells the eerily intertwined stories of an ill-fated young couple in the 1850s and the troubled historian who discovers their writings in the present day. There's voodoo, there's Marie Laveau's daughter, there's curses, there's romance, there's madness. There is a lot happening in the story. Very very sinister vibes and just a really interesting story. And I absolutely recommend that you light a bunch of candles so that you're not totally in the dark, because it's kind of scary, especially when you get towards the end. And the last book on my list is called Lady of Hay. This is also written by Barbara Erskine, who is the author of the first book that I shared. I love her writing, and I couldn't decide on which of her books, so I'm including both. So in this one, it says, go back to the time before you were born, to the dark time when you were floating free, then before the darkness when you lived before, when you were another person in another time. These are the last words British journalist Jo Clifford hears before embarking on the journey of a lifetime. Hypnotized as part of a series of articles she's writing, Jo is suddenly cast back to the 12th century, where she finds herself reliving the experiences of Matilda, Lady of Hay, the wife of a baron at the time of King John. And let me tell you that the people in the past are not happy, and there is a lot of drama and scariness going on, all to say that it is a great book to read for all the cozy feels and vibes. And I don't mean like cozy good feelings and good vibes. I mean like you want to be in a very cozy space under your blanket, candles lit, warm drinks, maybe a snack, could be a glass of wine, and just read. So these are my 4 recommendations for good cozy reading in the fall. And now I'm going to share some bonus footage of my time out in the country seeking more autumnal bliss. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Happy fall, and I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more book recommendations and seasonal loveliness, and share with your friends and like.